I'm Vic Myers. Welcome to the Resistance. Did you see the story about the wife of a Marine still nursing her baby and the ICE Stapo took her? She isn't hiding. She isn't a criminal. She was at a government office doing everything right, trying to get her green card. And they detained her on the spot. This week, a spokesperson for the Department of Homeland Security, Tricia McLaughlin, defended the move. She said, and I quote, "She is in the country illegally. This administration is not going to ignore the rule of law." Really? They're invoking the rule of law to justify arresting the wife of a Marine who is still breastfeeding her baby? Imagine that. She didn't sneak in. She came as a child, brought here by her mother seeking asylum. She grew up here. She went to school here. She built a life here. And like a lot of people brought here as kids, she didn't even realize at first that her status was in jeopardy. But once she did everything she could to make it right, to follow the law. She followed the legal process. She showed up for her green card appointment, and that's where they arrested her. So yes, rule of law, that same law this woman was actively trying to comply with. The administration is not going to ignore the rule of law. And while she was doing everything right she could do to comply with the law, Trump, the 34-time convicted felon, and his administration have made a habit of not complying with the law. They ignore court orders, they defy subpoenas, they attack judges, they declare war on Iran without Congress. The administration is not going to ignore the rule of law. They treat the law like it only matters when it's someone else's problems. And here's what else they're not telling you. In Los Angeles, nearly 70% of the people rounded up by ICE have no criminal convictions. None. They weren't the bad ones. They weren't violent. They weren't threats. They were just easy targets. So to the Trump supporters who cheer this stuff on, to the MAGA crowd that claims to love law and order, why does the law only seem to matter when it's used against women, immigrants, and the powerless? Why doesn't it matter when your guy refuses to comply with it? The administration is not going to ignore the rule of law. Rule of law. Give me a freaking break. Thanks for listening. Good day.